So, the time has finally come for Amphibia Season 2 to air on Disney Channel, and I gotta say, Season 2A feels like forever ago now. Like, that was debuting right up next to Candace Against the Universe? Wow. Perspective. But now, today in fact, we're diving right back into the world of Amphibia and everything we know about where Season 2 is going to take us. Clearly, I'm not alone. We've all been waiting for a long time. Alright, so hopping right into it, as a Christmas gift, Matt Brawley dropped the episode titles for all the remaining Season 2 episodes, and more recently, Disney themselves, as well as TV guides, have helped fill us in on the descriptions for the episodes coming out in the next 4 weeks. Then, Disney dropped some trailers for the latter half of the season, including one major one, much like they did for the start of Season 2A. And I gotta say, this looks like the most plot-driven the show has ever gotten. As teased in A Day at the Aquarium, Anne and Marcy will need to visit all 3 temples to recharge each gem, with each gem being specifically tied to one of the girls. Anne is the blue gem, heart, Marcy is the green gem, wit, and Sasha is the purple gem, signifying strength. I feel like at this point it's known well enough that each girl likely has to be at the corresponding temple to recharge each gem as we see in the trailer, but nonetheless, let's go episode by episode. The first episode pair is Night Drivers and Return to Wartwood. I don't really have to speculate what these are about because, well, they've already been released overseas. And that's on studio leadership. They're both extremely fun episodes, light on plot, and a nice return to all the characters that we've missed this season. And they should be officially out by the time this video drops. The next episode is Ivy on the Run. Fed up with her mother's strict rules, Ivy concocts a plan to run away. This episode is likely to address the romantic buildup between Sprig and Ivy, and perhaps explore their first official upcoming date. It should be nice character development for both of them, as well as probably have a B-plot revolving around something happening at the Planter's house with Anne. Paired with that, we have After the Rain, which Disney tried to hide the episode description for, but we got it from the TV guides. Anne asks Hop Hop to retrieve the music box, bringing some long-buried secrets to light. We know this ends decently as we see them all together around Hop Pop's book from Season 1, and they're together later in the season. But this will, without a doubt, be an emotional episode. After all of Hop Pop's lessons about honesty, which even he slips by in Return to Wartwood, there's sure to be breakdown and resolution that brings the Planters closer together. Plus, we'll find out why Hop Pop was scared of the box. Both of these episodes air on March 13th. The next week is a full 22-minute episode, The First Temple. Marcy, Anne, and the Planters travel to an ancient temple that could hold the key to getting Anne and Marcy home, but only if they can survive the temple's deadly challenges. We see many shots of this in the trailer, and this will likely be the episode that establishes what it requires for a gem to be recharged, and likely if the powers the girls received from the Calamity Box are activated around the temple. I feel the purpose of this episode is to set many precedents that we will know for the other temples, as well as reunite Anne and Marcy after the brief separation, perhaps offering a peek into Andreas' proposition he offered Marcy as well. Also, this is clearly the temple the book gives location of, as it's the first one they visit. As others have pointed out, the wit and cleverness tied to the green gem is seen in the location design, with glowing green brains everywhere. This episode airs on March 20th. Next time, we're back to two-parters, starting with New Wartwood. Intent on winning over Wartwood, Marcy makes a plan to improve the town. This will likely be yet another fish out of water episode where Marcy sees flaws in Wartwood and attempts to fix them to win over Anne's friends. But it will probably backfire in some way, either making Anne feel bad that she's not as smart as Marcy, or causing chaos in the town. The follow-up is Friend or Frobo, where we'll finally get the payoff to all the Frobo teases this season as he officially joins the Planter family. Desperate for fun, Polly breaks out on her own and finds an unlikely new friend in the process. It's the perfect time for a Polly episode.
Welcome to the family, Mr. Frobo!
I'm guessing that there might be a break for Easter weekend after this, but I feel like Disney's going to air the rest of the season all the way once it comes back. The next episode is Toad to Redemption. Here we'll likely see Grime finally get off his butt and work out, figure out how to put his army together, and ultimately redeem himself in the eyes of Sasha. It'll be great to catch up with these two, having such a long absence between appearances in the show, and this will further set up their planned invasion of Newtopia. Along with it, we have Maddie and Marcy. This one is tough to predict, but it's likely Marcy will be interested in the more magical elements of Amphibia, and perhaps Maddie will enlighten her, and they'll become fast friends. Either way, Marcy will get to put herself further into Anne's friend circle. The next pair starts with the mysterious second temple. Pacing-wise, it's likely that this is the second temple in the book, the Arch, and the one Anne must recharge her gem with. It looks like the green gem helps them locate the Arch, and it's likely that they're successful for multiple reasons, which I'll get to later. Also, this temple appears to be far less complex than the previous one that had numerous challenges, which could be a contributing factor as to why this episode is only 11 minutes. Paired with it is what I believe to be another Sasha and Grime episode, Beryl's Warhammer. This is likely Sasha and Grime searching for a legendary weapon of war's past to give them the upper hand when storming Utopia, and it would be a fun side quest as they explore the more magical side of amphibian artifacts. If the hammer we see here isn't Beryl's Warhammer, I'll be surprised. Bessie and MicroAngelo will be a fun family animals episode for sure. I imagine there might be a bit of rivalry or jealousy, but I don't expect much more from this than a fun episode to contrast with the next one, the third temple. Here we finally get Sasha's temple. All the planters, Anne and Marcy show up, and we know that this temple's challenge is a test of strength. We see the giant lava monster they have to fight inside the volcano, and honestly, I think Anne and Sasha work together to resolve their differences here, especially with Marcy being at the temple as well. Seeing Marcy might temporarily soften Sasha, and I anticipate this episode begins an arc that will carry through the season's last episode. Finally, with Anne, Sasha, and Marcy seemingly having made up, preparations are made for their departure in the dinner, where Andreas likely throws a major party to celebrate the girls leaving Amphibia. Meanwhile, Sasha and Grime's plan to storm Utopia, now using the king's favor and trust, plays out in the background. Battle of the Bands is truly anyone's guess. It's likely a send-off celebration episode before the finale as Utopia celebrates, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was something else sinister happening here. Finally, we get to True Colors, the 24-minute season finale. An extra 2 minutes longer than the normal, something the crew probably had to fight for.
True Colors is not a 22-minute episode. It was too big for that. True Colors is a 24-minute episode.
This is likely where we'll get more backstory, including how Anne, Marcy, and Sasha met, as well as the true nature of their friendship. Here I imagine Anne will be betrayed by both Sasha and Marcy. Sasha, who's leading an invasion on Utopia that has totally ruined their chance at returning home, and Marcy, whose deal with King Andreas finally comes to light. Yunen taking out Toad storming Utopia, the Anne vs. Sasha rematch, all of that is going to go down here without a doubt. And there you have it, a broad look at the rest of Amphibia Season 2. I'm so hyped for the rest of the season, and be sure to stay tuned for more reviews and coverage as the season progresses and more things are revealed. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you back in Dimension 1. Alright, so Amphibia's starting back up. Like I said, I'm really excited for the end of Season 2, and I think, especially since the show's already been renewed for Season 3, the third season is probably going to focus much more on the prophecy and kind of the overarching big Toad thing that they need to defeat, and the goal of getting home will become like a secondary goal because they'll already know how to do it, so they won't have to figure that out in Season 3. The goal will be defeat the monster and then go home, which I think is really exciting, and it's a very well-crafted story by Matt and the team, and I'm excited to see how it plays out. As for the channel, the DuckTales finale is coming up really soon, and I'd like to have a couple videos about DuckTales out soon, so be on the lookout for those. Thanks again for watching, and have a wonderful day.